Yes, let's do it. Welcome, everybody, to NFL
Hands across
Supercoach
the floor.
Nutters. Let's do it indeed. Well, that's certainly what the Bills fans are not really singing about right at this moment. Thank you very much for joining us. The Bills versus the Texans has just completed, and I can tell you that anybody who captained Josh Allen is looking for somewhere to hide this week. How you going there, Ted?
Well, Brad, terribly, mate. I'm just going to do a live reaction at my VC for Allen. Anyway, for those that can't see it, that was an ugly face. Should I loop? Should I loop him? Mate, what a disgraceful performance by him. From rocks to diamonds, mate. Last week, he was the best thing since sliced cheese. 6 tutties, running 3 himself. This week, he was a fucking lemon, mate. And plenty of us had the VC on that lemon. It's a sour start to the day, mate. What about you, Brado? What about you?
Oh, mate. Well, I think it's just really a lot. I've been studying and looking at a lot of defenses lately when it comes to these matchups. And Houston is so close to being number one, particularly in some areas of their defense, that it doesn't necessarily surprise me. I thought this would be a hard matchup for them. So I'm really not overly surprised. It's why I had the VC on Allen. It allowed you to have a fair bit of safety, doesn't it? But what it does do is it really opens it up for whoever you want a captain, doesn't it? There's going to be a lot of choices out there.
And there will be a lot of sour grapes with those that stuck the C on him today. But it's like this. The Thursday games have always been a bit of a, dour, slugfest, always defensive orientated. And just real quick on the defense, I think next year as super coaches, I think we've all learned a lot about how the defenses can be up and down, rocks and diamonds. One week, it's still hit and miss because next week, they might be shit themselves, Brado. You know, that's just what I'm learning. The defense, it can be up one week scoring you 50, the next week they get you -6. Who knows, mate? Who knows?
Who knows? Well, that game certainly was not won by any brilliant offense by the Texans. I honestly thought Nico Collins would get to see a bit of ball. Mills has been liking him lately. He got bugger all ball there. It wasn't an offensively great-looking game. So if you had any wide receivers or even any running backs in that game. I mean, Woody Marks looked pretty bloody good. Jeez, I'm impressed with him, but it doesn't really translate to Supercoach for some reason. Just
doesn't translate. Too many mouths to feed there. It was just one of those games. It just failed to get going. You know, we were all sitting in here putting the seatbelt on, thinking it's going to be the Allen show again. And, oh, here we go again.
Oh, no, yeah.
It's time for
just had a bit of a melt here. Just bear with us, folks. Why would it do that to me? Because I'm using it. Yeah, no, but keep going just for a minute.
Yeah, no, stick in there with us, fans. Yeah, well, look, that game just never really got going. If I just go quickly into it and then we just have a little quick breakdown of it. Now, I did hear you talking about Collins. He only scored a 14. I thought he got banged up in the second quarter, so he wasn't really seeing much of the ball. It was more the Christian Kirk show. So they got circumcised today by the Texans, didn't they? And no one likes a circumcision when you didn't see it coming. But it was a pretty dour affair. 19 points scored by Buffalo, 23 by Houston. Nothing really to write home about. Cook was the standout for the Buffalo Bills with a nice 40. But, mate, Captain Cook's been delivering all year. Shakir got himself at 26. Prater, the kicker, got 16. It was just a pretty ugly game of football. Getting back to the Houston running backs, I think it's too much of a committee there because they had Marks and they've got Chubb. There's just too many mouths to feed there for me to have any interest. I'm glad that it's been and gone, and the real footy will start on Monday, Brado.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that'll do us for the screen. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so I guess it's time to get us into a bit of Ted's
It's now
news.
time for the injury report with your host, Big Ted.
This NFL injury report is brought to you by George Kittle's Hammy Helper, the only hammy helper you need to fix old tired legs.
Well, I guess it's one of our major sponsors was Burrow's Turf Toe Clippings, but I guess now that we've mentioned it, what
Well,
news
let's
about
start
Burrow?
with Burrow.
Yeah.
Now, as we were discussing prior to the show, is Burrow back? I think he is. Brad's going, maybe not. Now, the reasons why I think he's back is that because they're playing their divisional rival, they need to start to put some W's on the board for them to get to the playoffs. He's their boy. He's playing, and their backup, Immobile Joe. And, mate, he's just done so well for a backup. Good on him. He's got a banged up shoulder. I think they've got no choice to say that Joe has to throw, mate. Joe has to throw. Now, with the turf toe injury, they say that it can take up to 12 weeks, 14 weeks. He's back well ahead of schedule. All I know is that I just saw some of the stuff on the NFL injury experts news, and they're going, if there's anyone who can come back and do it early, it's Joe. I think he's in.
Yeah. I'd probably agree with you. In fact, I don't think I've got any choice but to. It looks to me, all the news we're seeing, you think if you're a full active participant in that last training session, you're in. He's in there for sure.
You'd be in. And just as a little cheeky side note, if I was T. Higgins, I'd just be sending an Uber round full of Uber Eats to Joe's place to go, Joe, remember me? Here I am. I'm your boy, mate. I'm your boy. Now, more on that later. Now, on other news, it's the season for broken old men, as we know. Aaron Rodgers, banged up. Not his throwing wrist, not his good wrist, but he's banged up his bad wrist. Yeah, the fender. So the bumper bar's gone. And if you're immobile and you haven't got a bumper bar, you're starting Burrows. Sorry. Back to A-Rod. You are not starting. But that's the same thing with Immobile Joe. He's got a banged up arm. He doesn't have a bumper bar either. That's why Burrows throws. Anyway, A-Rod's out. Next injury news. Atlanta Falcons, Penix. He re-injured his left knee. So he's not there. He's gone. Will be out. Undisclosed yet. More quarterback injury news. Dylan Gabriel, the Cleveland's QB, still on the HIA protocol. He won't be back. Don't know of any more relevant QB news right at the moment, except for breaking news. Bit of a drum roll, Brado. We will cover it though. Nice work. Nice segue in with the drums. It looks like Baker Mayfield possibly could be out, boys and girls. If he's on your team, like if you've been looking for the pod, we'll get to his news later, but he may be out, may not be out. That's covered it for QB news. Apart from that, Brad, I'm not sure whether you know of anyone else, but I don't think I've heard of anyone else. And that'll move us on to running back news. Let's start with the heavily owned guy, Josh Jacobs, out. Or is he out? Yeah, they say 2 weeks.
Maybe.
Maybe not. They're playing smoke and mirrors with us. So if you're a Josh Jacobs owner like myself, I'm just going to start Travion Henderson. I'm just going to go safety there. I am not going to play games with him. Next news, Jaylen Warren from the Steelers out for 1 week with an ankle. But Is he out? That's another one of these ones. Is he, isn't he? If you do have Kenny Gainwell stashed, I'd start Kenny Gainwell. He played really well last week anyway. Moving on. Vidal from the Chargers. He's got himself a thigh injury, will not be playing. Moving on to the
he is a
Jaguars.
sell at any rate, Ted.
What's that?
Vidal is a sell now anyway.
He's a sell anyway. They've got other guys coming back.
You've got to move him along at any rate. Yeah, he's time for him to go.
Now, one of my sneaky little favourites this year, we were watching him all through college ball too, Brad, and mate, loved him. It's the Jaguars, the Tootler. The Tootler's out.
Yeah, he's out.
The Tootler. So he's out. Multiple weeks. If you've got him on your bench, sell him off, mate. He's been and gone. On to the Cardinals. Demarcado, who was the guy that dropped the ball. We all love him, though. He's out with an ankle injury. That's probably all of the major injury news in the running backs, Brad. If I've left someone out, I do apologise. And just for the sake of speed, we're just going to move straight into the wide receivers. Now, it's a shit show here. Now, who do you start with? Let's start with it. London, right? If you own him, you're fucked, right? He's a trade burn. I think he's as good as out for the season. He may be back for your last 2 weeks of the playoffs. Who knows? But if you've got him, you're going to want to have some tremendous depth. What happened was that he's just come back from that knee injury and put up some great numbers, but he's hurt it. They rested him. They put him back on for the last quarter, and he banged it up on the other knee. So he's got 2 knee issues. So if the one wasn't bad enough, the 2 just confirms it. He's a fucking sell. Brad, what about you? Happy Drake owner, are you?
Yes, I am a happy Drake owner. I wish I had another 4 trades up my sleeve. Because I probably, if I did have another 4, he well might have been a sell at this point anyway. He's about hit his limit. 21,400,000. Look, yeah, I personally think he's probably, as time goes on, we thought it might only be a very brief 1 week out, but anything longer than 2 weeks, yeah, he certainly looks like a sell. And at 21 million, well, that's going to leave you enough cash to just about to do whatever the hell you want, not only in wide receiver, but you can also, certainly get some juice into another position, whether it be one of your quarterbacks or something like that. But, yeah.
Definitely beef it up. I was going over the leaders team, the guy on 6,000 odd points, the number 1 overall. My goodness, it's going to be hard to make inroads on that team. He's got depth in every position. He's got players like Drake London sitting on his bench. He's got all of the tights. He's got Josh Allen, and he had Drake May actually. So it's going to be hard to make moves. I think that if you're going to be selling like someone like London, I'd be selling down to someone like worth about $10 million who's a pod, because if you're going to go for one of these heavily owned guys, everyone's cookie cutter team by this stage of the year, Brad, and it's you just will not make any moves if you're going with one of the heavily owned guys. That's all I'm saying there, people.
You can make a move backwards.
Oh, fuck yeah. You can get red arrows and fucking
you can go backwards.
Fall off the cliff. Yeah, definitely. But that's not what the Nutters is about. The Nutters is always about striving for our best week in, week out, even if we've had a shit week. Oh, just quietly, Brad, how did you go last week, mate?
Yeah, I had a good week. Yeah, occasionally I can get a good week happening, and it wasn't a bad week. Yeah, wasn't, but it could have been a lot better. I did make a bad trade, and although as it turned out, I'm not sure if it really was that bad, but I got in the mid 600s, so yeah, not a bad week. top
You
1% or
You've
something
got a lot of
crazy
green.
like that.
You got some green arrows and moved us up the ranks. I see that the Legends League is still fifth outright, and some of our boys are absolutely flying. Proud of you, blokes.
Yeah.
Proud of you, blokes. Well done.
No, Legends League is flying along, going very well. So I think it was
Very,
Lloydie
very.
last week that topped it. I topped it this week, but we're still
Yep.
punching out some good scores in that league.
Just a little cheeky pat on the back to me. I'm still absolutely runaway leader with a 9-2 record. I can't believe it. I'm playing guys which are like I'm 85th overall, 26th overall. And mate, here's little old Big Ted there just chipping away and knocking them out one at a time. I don't care if I crash and burn if I get to the semis. I'm taking the money for the minor premiership and I'm getting the trophy this year, mate. It might be small, but I'm happy with the plate, mate. I'm happy with the plate.
Well, I'll be warning you. I know some of those blokes that we're up against in that league, and they've got a lot of trades, some of them. I was talking to one the other day. He has 9 trades. And he's semis bound. He's in there.
He's in there. Well, that's why I just have to push for the minor premiership because I know that I'm like down to my last 2. I am fucked, right? So, mate, I'm just looking for the minor premiership. I've only got a couple more weeks to get there. Of course, I'm 9-2. Closest other guys, I think they're like 8 and something like that. I think I'm going to go much better. Anyway, back onto injury news, Brado. We'll be moving on to the Titans. Calvin Ridley, his season's cooked, mate. Guys, if you're a Ridley owner, it was a nice try. He's done. Season cooked. Get him out of your team. Next injury news will be to the Cardinals again. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still out. And there's a really cheeky replacement, which I think that would be consider this, people, as a cheeky little replacement at a negative 19 break even for a $8.08 million trade-in. Michael Wilson, Arizona wide receiver, receiving from Jacoby Brissett, who has thrown 7 million yards in his first game last week, like threw the most passes ever completed in a game of NFL. And this week, there's only Michael Wilson to throw it to and the tight end McBride, and then there's daylight. Get on board Michael Wilson, people. There's a cheeky little, sneaky little upgrade. And he isn't owned by very many. Just putting it out there. More injury news. Back to the Falcons again. Darnell Mooney is out. He's cooked for at least a couple of weeks. Moving on to sort of like not injury, but possible injury, but played through an injury. Stefan Diggs from the Pats played through with a broken finger the last few weeks, and apparently it's been pulling him back, but he's been doing real well. So that's probably wrapping up all of the major wide receiver injury news. I suppose that it all hinges around Drake London. I know that he's heavily owned, Brad. If you can just take it over from here, I'm going to have a look at some London stats just cheekily, mate.
All right. Yeah, well, Drake London is the second most traded out player at present. And we fully understand why. As I said, there's a fair bit of cash there involved in him there. The number 1 most traded out, of course, is Jamar Chase, but not too far behind is good old Drake. And it looks like the people are trading up to, there's a couple of wide receivers that are standing out, but it looks like people are trading up to George Pickens and Puka Nakura. Now, Puka Nakura, I can fully understand. If you don't have him, you bloody well should have. That's as simple as that. That just makes sense. Because you're going to make $4 million in the trade anyway. And I think Puka's a much better, but I ain't biased, but Puka's a much better wide receiver than London at any rate. So, and we'll, as long as he stays healthy. Pickens, well, we'll talk about that one later. But, yeah, what were you going to go on with, Ted?
Well, look, I was just looking at Drake London's ownership. He's like 27% owned, so that's pretty heavily. I would imagine he's more heavily owned in the like top 1, top 5, and top 10% because that's why they're flying. Maybe teams which are at the bottom end, he's a bit of an irrelevant player. But yeah, no, definitely, mate. He's trouble if you have him in your team. He's a must sell. He's a must sell. Also, on the Nutters ranks this week, I've got Puka coming in there at number 3 as a very, very, very solid on the top tier. There's 3 clear standout wides, which are Jackson Smith, Amon-Ra, the Sun God, and Puka. Unfortunately, when you look at almost everyone else's team, it's cookie cutter, and they've all got them. And it's your second row, which is now starting to stack up with the likes of CD, a burn-in failing Justin Jefferson, and maybe Rice, etc. Like we're all getting stacked and getting cookie cutted. That's why you got to be starting to look for those guys which are under 10%. Of course, otherwise you're just not going to see any greens and you're only going to burn your trades and see reds, especially if I hear you correctly. Jamar Chase, the number 1 traded out this week. Yep. Fuck me, Dad. What is wrong with you people, mate? Yeah. He's only out for 1 week, you fucking nufties. Like, stop it. Stop it. Just bench him and just look to... No, just don't. Or, well, look, do it. Because next week, when mate Burrows is back, you're going to miss him like fucking crazy.
Look, I fully agree there. And this is a nice segue. We might as well move on to most traded out to have a look at because we've gone really through the injury news. I don't think there's anything more there to.
Oh, look. Hey, Brad, let me just wrap it up real quick. Because the Bills have already played Dalton Kincaid out that's yesterday's news fish and chip wrapper. Probably the 2 biggest remaining outs. Sam Laporta. If you're like Lions, man, you got a bit of vomit on, a bit of spaghetti vomit on you. He's out, put him on IR, which is 4 weeks. So then he's got to come back. Well, if you've got Laporta, he's got to go. And then for the Rams, Tyler Higbee's banged up. Probably one of their key players, but probably not one of the 3 standout tight ends, which you should have in your team by now. And that probably does cover us all of the injury news, except that little Susie, the waitress, the one that poisoned the All Blacks, and she's poisoned everyone. Well, she's turned up and she's done her tricks again, right? It looks like the Bucks camp, right? She's fucked with the Bucks, giving them a case of the Buckaroos, and they're all over the bowl, throwing their holes out, both ends. And if you're a Buka owner and a Baker Mayfield, you may be in trouble this week. Yeah.
They got the man.
Maybe they will play, but look, there's a whole thing going through that camp, and mate, we know what happens. Even if they're fit to play, mate, the bot knocks fuck out of you for a couple of days, and it feels like a truck's hit you. So they could be in for the L this week, boys. If you have Bucks, be prepared to be fucking shitting your pants when you're watching it game time.
Because they probably are. They've got the lurgy, they got it bad. All right. The going backwards just 2 steps. You did mention about Laporta. Just what do you think? Does this make we know he's been a bit quiet recently, but the Sun God, does this make him relevant again?
It should. I mean, honestly, he is just the clear, wide receiver. He is the clear alpha on that team by a mile, except, right, Jamar Gibbs, right? It's like when mate Goff goes, oh, fuck, I've got all of these toys. What do I do? Give it to Jamar, who's just amazing, or do they throw it to the most amazing catcher downfield too? I don't know, spoiled for choice. They've also got Jamison Williams and Khalif Raymond there, which are both very impressive targets in their own right. Yeah. So they're a bit spoiled for choice. But that certainly means that Sam Laporta is gone. Let's hope that, mate, the Sun God can just get one or two more targets. If you bear with us, just like quickly, the Sun God was on the field last week for 97% of snaps. He got targeted 12 times, right? He only got 2 of them. He had a shit game, right?
Yeah.
They were double teaming him. They were all fucking over him. He got 2 targets for 42 yards. So just wait until he gets one of those 14, 15 target games. Then he gets 10 of them and he goes for 260. He's due, Brad. He's due.
He dropped 2 in the red zone.
2 in the red zone. Yeah.
2 in the red zone, which weren't completed. So
it just didn't happen.
It's just one of those weeks for him. I think it's crazy that he's not actually higher owned or higher. People stay away, please.
Stay away, yeah.
Stay away.
Except for all nutters and friends of the show, we encourage you. Get on board, mate. Get on board.
So number 1, Jamar Chase sold out. We've discussed Drake London. We actually think he probably should be number 1, but he's number 2. Number 3 surprises me. Ashton Genty. Why? You'd have to have a lot of trades to be trading him, wouldn't you? Like, it's just good, solid backup, isn't he? He's good enough.
Yeah, but then if you're someone with 9 trades and a few boosts, Genty's your way to like totally gun up in every position and, just like have every position covered. Why not? And especially if you've got like, say, 6, 7 trades left, if I had Genty on the point, I'd be selling him straight away too.
Number 4 is Jackson Dart with a BE of 9. I really don't get that one either. Who are you trading him to? Maybe Drake May, maybe.
Yeah, Drake May's me sneaky option. I'm really liking Drake May. I think that him or if you're one of these people which can like play a bit of QB roulette, why not get onto someone like a Drake May or a Jacoby Brissett this week? Just look for something different, because if you've got guys like Allen and what did he end up scoring us this week, by the way? Just
17. He ended up on 17 points.
That's 20 lives
20,
or 20.
Yeah.
20's pretty underwhelming. I hate being underwhelmed. I don't know what whelmed feels like, but 89 last week felt whelming, but this week 20 felt shit. So look for a pod, and mate, look for the lower owned guys, because these guys which are flying up there, they've all got Mahomes, they've all got Allen, or they've all got Lamar, they've all got Allen. I'd be looking to go 2 different pods and just pray.
Other ones that have been heavily sold, JJ McCarthy, sort of makes sense if you're upgrading. Javonte Williams, it sort of makes sense, really. He probably get hit about his peak as well. Rome Adunze, I don't agree. I know he's a rocks or diamonds, right? But when he's good, he's going to score you really well. And if you want a pod, well, there's your ultimate pod. Because Rome does have a high ceiling when he gets the ball. It can go very well. Josh Jacobs, I sort of understand that if you've got lots of trades. Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert was benched last week because he nearly got bashed out of the game, didn't he?
Yeah. I wouldn't be getting on the Herbert myself. I wouldn't be doing it. I think, just as a little bit of cheeky QB talk, though, the one who we haven't been to, there's 2 of them, really. Shador, right, Sanders, he finally gets the nod. There's a little cheeky downgrade. I think people with 9 trades would be like trading out JJ, bringing in Shador for the late cash gen. But it's like players like Bryce Young, 63 points last week, Brad. What an amazing effort. He's got a break even of 1. He's going to make 1.1 billion this year with a score of 27, and he's only 12.7. He's only owned by 91 teams. These are the sort of This is the pod which you've got to be searching for. Otherwise, you're just going to be locked into the cookie cutter team, and we're all going to hold position for the rest of the season.
Now, I know we have a question on this. We'll go over the most traded in now. We'll have a quick look at those that are most traded in. George Pickens is number one. I don't get it. But he's been rubbing egg in my face ever since I don't get it. I said that.
Yeah.
I said that a few weeks ago. If George Pickens is really, really worth it at nearly 17 million, what you're saying is that CD Lamb is shit. Because there's not room for two wide receiver ones in that team.
Well, especially when they've got Ferguson, which is a tight end one, they've got a lot of options there. I think it's fucking crazy. I think these people, they're missing the boat here, and they're missing the boat on like players, I don't know, someone just a little bit cheeky different in their wide receiver corps, like Wilson. Someone like that, someone who's really low owned. If you're going to go and get Pickens and CD, I don't know. Well, it's a double stack handcuff. It's going to make your team look good for depth. But I think you're going to face fuck yourself doing it.
Believe it or not, I know the game's just been on, but Josh Allen was number 2 in the most traded in. Ouch.
Well, it just means that the competition's just going to get so much tighter. So if you still have another cheeky trade left, mate, I'd be looking at changing your second quarterback and straying away from a Lamar, straying away from a like Mahomes, looking for a May, looking for someone just a little bit different. Otherwise, it's just going to be the cookie cutter. What scares me about having Mahomes is that if they're up by a lot, they will pull him for the last quarter hooked. The same thing can happen to like other, quarterbacks like Lamar. If they're absolutely killing it, it'd be crazy for the coach to go, you can risk injury, stay out there, Lamar. I think that he's a risk of being hooked early too. So that's why these pod guys, which are looking for divisional wins like Drake May, I think that's your money call there, Brado.
Anyway, everyone jumped on Josh Allen, which I wish they hadn't again because I'm an Allen owner. But picking Nakura, number 3, number 4, Jonathan Taylor, no surprises there. Trayvon Henderson, you should have already owned him, no surprises there. Number 6 is Schrader Sanders. No surprises there, Ted. That's really, as we discussed, a nice downgrade there, 3.7 million. Jump on board. Georgie Kittle, number 7, at nearly 15 million.
Look, George loves the hammy helper, and, he's just gone from strength to strength since he started to use it. He was a premium, got banged up, came back, started out a bit slow, but we now know why he started with a $15 million price tag. He is a gun, but there's only limited spots. So unless you want to go to a flex with a tight end, which is like balls of steel, I wouldn't do it myself. Avoid if you can. But I don't think there's room with like Bowers, McBride, and Warren now back fresh from the bye. Now, also, talking just quickly on Warren, do you like his chances coming back fresh off the bye, going up in a divisional game this week? Is he a standout sneaky that people are just going to overlook and keep him on the bench?
Well, geez, if you can afford to have Warren on your bench, that must mean you've got 2 guns like McBride and Bowers, starting. If you've got those 3 as your tight ends, your team is stacked. Like hell, if you can afford to have your 3 premiums all in your team, that's an awful lot of money you got stashed in tight ends. I would be playing Warren myself. I think he's a play every single week. The wide receivers, Pittman's okay, but are not that strong there. Whereas Warren is almost, when he's left with nothing else to throw to, he just, Warren's getting the ball. That's just, I honestly do believe that. Yeah, wow, you'd be stacked if you had all three. I mean, I would have loved to have had all three. I couldn't do it, so I've got McBride and Bowers, and that's the way I'm going to finish the year. So if they stay fit.
If I can just quickly go over this team called Cups of the Rose. Overall position number 1, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we're up against. He captained Allen this week, as far as I can see. So suck a dick. But you have to. But if you're leading it because you're doing something real good. So anyway, wait for it. This is his running backs: CMC, Gibbs, Robinson, Cook, Taylor, Billy Merritt, which is his reserve. Wide receivers: JSN, Chase, Pooker, Rice, Lamb, Jefferson on the bench, the Sun God, and Rome on the bench. This is before trades this week. Moving to his tight ends, he doesn't quite have the big three. He's got McBride, Bowers, and Fanning, which is my starting tight end. That's his cheeky little nufty. He's got the Pats defense with the Broncos defense on the bench, and Drake May. So I don't know how long he's had May, but he's had May, he's had Allen. So I can only go like this. Oh my God, we are fucked. If you aren't in the top 100, it's fucked. Keep on watching us just for strictly entertainment purposes only, but you're not going to be fucking winning it because it's coming from one of the top 100 guys for sure, Brad. Because it's so stacked, because it's so cookie cutter, because there's not DPPs, because there's not multiple defense positions. You've made it pretty hard this year, Sangster, but we're going to fix that next year.
Well, just look out. I'm coming for him, all right? Don't rule me out just yet.
I'm not ruling you out, mate. I am with you all of the way.
I'm coming. All right,
I'm coming, but mate, hey, me and you are on the old school bus, and he's on the ex-fucking PT, mate, and he's out of town, mate. He's left us behind.
No, mate, you're on the mini moke. I'm at least in the Monaro. He's on the Formula One.
I'm on the moke.
Actually,
I feel like I'm going to be like Cody Nicarima, and I own an S-Cargo little car, and I got Big Ted in the littlest car in the fucking world, and that's me, mate. And he's gone on the fucking bullet train, mate. He is to the moon and back, and good on him. Fuck, I hope he gets the money. I'm riding him home. It's just a shame he's not a friend of the show, Brado.
Well, he could be. Could be one of these people that's watching us right now.
Anonymous user, maybe. Is this him?
I actually got a message coming up later from Anonymous, but right now, for entertainment purposes only, we'll go to our next segment.
It's time for Bag of Dicks.
Ah, yes, it's time to give out our bag of dicks like we try to do every single week. I don't think it's any surprise, Ted, that my bag of dicks and probably your bag of dicks goes to one Jamar Chase. At least when he spat, he didn't have the visor down, so the spit could actually get out. Unlike a certain individual did at the beginning of the year who would have won our first bag of dicks. But, yes, the visor was actually up, so he could, the spit was able to get out. But the spitter, Jamar, thinking he could get away with it with 64 different cameras on him around the ground, watching every single move. Oh, Jamar, what are you thinking? Oh, I didn't do it. Yes, you fucking did. Clearly you did.
He'd obviously listened to Rodney Rood, and at least he'd learned to fucking spit out the window with the window down, didn't he? Look, I'm not defending him. It's a horrible thing. If ever you've been spat on, you know it's just fucking horrible, right? But something pretty grotesque must have been said to him. So I'm going to put it back onto him for a double-ended dick, because he was actually owned by Warren all day. He was schooled by him. He was taunted by him. He was chased. He couldn't break loose. He couldn't cut. He couldn't separate. And Warren was just letting him know about it. And old Jamar just cut loose with a big loogie, and he's fucked us all, right? So fuck you. Grow up, you idiot. Act like a professional and keep your fucking bodily fluids to yourself unless asked.
And please come out and give us 60 points next week. That's all we ask. I'm holding
Please,
you.
because I'm going to
So-
VC you next week because Burrows is a fucking god.
I'm holding him, so please, we're after 61 points at least. All right, we might as well throw to a few questions. We've babbled on enough about
Question time.
all right, let's have a look. First of all, we've got one from the Cheese Man.
G'day, Cheesy. Friend of the show, Jacob.
Yeah, the Cheese Man manages to... Why isn't that showing? Here we go. There's one from Jacob. He says, Olave, a genuine option to rotate off the bench with their good run home and slow running the show now. 5 trades left and team complete, trying to upgrade benches now geared targeting matchups. That's probably not really a question. It's more a statement, but we agree with you. Olave, how do you think about Olave there, Ted?
Well, Olave gets me very fucking excited like Big Kev, mate. Big Ted is as excited as Big Kev ever could be. What I like about it is that he was a full participant in practice, so he's good to go, and he remains the team's clear wide number one. They've got Alvin Kamara, and we all know this year we've been going, ooh, fucking Kamara, don't go fucking near it, right? Because he just hasn't done very much, right? Now they've got Davon Vele and Mason Tipton, which is like, who in the fuck and daylight? And then they've got Dwan Johnson, and that's all they've got. The only concern is that can Tyler Shuck actually feed Olave enough? So can the Shuck chuck to Olave? And my answer is fuck yeah, mate. He's a great call this week. Clear wide number one. POD, mate. Get on board.
All right, so that's thanks, Cheesy. He always comes in every single week,
thanks,
gives us good
Jacob.
feedback and stuff like that. All right, so we'll go to the next one. One from the SC Jinx. Is London to Pickens a good trade? I'll say my bit first. You probably heard it a bit earlier. I think not. Just quite simply. Yeah, I think you've missed the boat. I honestly do. Pickens, if you could have picked him up at 12 million, it was quite a good pick. But I think you've got other options out there that might suit. Have a look at their run home. And look, the Cowboys are good 1 minute and awful the next. So I just don't know. I don't think it's that good. Ted?
Well, look, really, you've got Dak chucking it. Dak doesn't mind a bit of a run himself. They've got Javonte Williams, who likes to carry it up, 10, 15 times, maybe 20 times every game. They've got CD, who's a clear wide number one. They've paid CD the money, right? CD is the man. Pickens is like an awesome player. Yeah, look, if he was on anyone else's team, anyone else's roster, he's their cleared wide number one. I don't know why you want to pick a fucking handcuff, though, Jinxie. But, honestly, get him because I know that you're just going to fucking break him anyway. So bring him in. He's got a track record of breaking everything that you touch. And then that means that CD owners will love you even more because he will be the ultimate one to have with your last couple of trades, like running home with, because you've also got Jake Ferguson. Also, just a quick little cheeky look at, mate, Jake. Jake's receiving in the last few games 7 targets, 6 targets, 1 target, 7 targets, 5 targets with 7, 5, 5, 4, 4 receptions. So you've got that mixed up. If I can go back and then just have a quick little look at CD. CD's also out there like gobbling it up. Ready? 8 targets, 10 targets, 12 targets, 7 targets. Where in the fuck are you going to be getting your 10, 12 targets? There's not 30, 40 targets every game unless you're Jacoby Brissett, Jinxie. So, no, he's not a good trade. No.
what Pickens is doing, and you've got to look at this. Pickens is relying on red zone action, so that's where Prescott's looking for him in the zone, and that's where he's getting his Supercoach points from. Because as we've seen, you don't necessarily get a mile of Supercoach points for 10 receptions, but you do get a mile of Supercoach points for 10 receptions plus a red zone touchdown. So that's why. I say probably not. For London, I think you've got better ones out there. All right, the Squirrel Gripper, SC Squirrel Gripper. What is a Squirrel Gripper?
It's a filthy Queensland native thing. Fat, likes wearing maroon, likes to put a grip on the plum.
Oh,
that's what the gripper does. It's sort of like a drop bear, but an uglier like a Queensland inbred version of a drop bear would be the grippy on a good day.
Don't forget, if you're any, I don't know what to say about that, but if you're any of the people out there that are having a watch and a listen at the moment, do throw in your question because we do love to answer them. Squirrel Gripper. If a player had 11 runs for 40 yards.
That's a last week's one from the grippy.
It is. The
algorithms fucked us with a last week's from the gripper.
He's gone and repeated himself. All right, from the Sponge, from the Supercoach Sponge, he wants us to list the top 5 quarterbacks for the run home. I still think number 1 is Josh Allen. Yep.
Allen, straight to the 2. Even though he fucking shit on us today, that's just going to happen in this game.
Number 2, I think nearly both of us are pretty much set on Drake May.
I think for the run home now, if you're looking for a pod, it's Drake May.
Well, he just wants to know the top 5, not a pod, the top 5. Who's going to be ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5?
I can rattle mine off real cheeky. It'll be Allen. I think if Burrows plays this week, if his record starts from now, I still think he's going to be one of the guys which you'd like to come home with. Maybe not get him this week. I don't know what his break even is this week, but it's like something like 150, or maybe I'm making it up, but it's over 100. So you can afford to get him next week. I think Patty Mahomes, he's got to be up there. Lamar, definitely. And then you're going to put in, maybe this even pains me to say it, but now that he's had another week off, just to fuck me over, maybe your boy, the Indianapolis Daniel Jones, can maybe finish as a top 5. I don't know. I think the top 4 is pretty easy, but are they the ones which you really want to run home with for the semis, especially if there's some pods which are flying and that will get you your cash wins, that will get you your league win? I don't think the cookie cutter guys will, but if you don't have trades, well, that's it. You're just probably locked for the season now, and it's too late to be changing them out. But I'd certainly look at getting in a cheeky Drake May, just only because just.
Well, I'm going to throw in the Herb. Go for a bit of Herb. We all like a bit of herbal action.
The Herb Bear.
Yeah, go for the Justin Herbert. I think he could be my number 5. A bit controversial, I know, but probably won't be in my team, but I don't mind the Herb and his run home there. It's not bad.
I like it, Braddo, because he's only owned by 4.2%, 1,364. Now, I don't know how to quickly go to the owned in the top 1%, but if you could go to the top owned in the top 1%, guys, and see where Herbert was, I think your little cheeky pods are going to be guys like coming home with a Herbert, coming home even with a Matthew Stafford, who just keeps on delivering. The Rams are going from strength to strength this year. It's just going to be someone like that, but it's definitely not going to be someone, like a Jordan Love. It's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to be like Penix because he's out. It's not going to be Geno Smith. It's not going to be Tua. I think it'll just be some of these higher-owned guys for sure, mate. Benny, I know you know the right ones anyway, mate.
So it's look, quite funnily enough, in the top 1%, 97% of them own Josh Allen in the top 1%.
That's why it won't suck so much this week, but it will suck if you were fucking like as brazen as to just put the straight C on him, which a lot of people did. I see in the Podmasters, Corey from the SC Elites, who's absolutely flying in the top 20 straight out captain him this week. So suck a little bit of a dick there and help you rise up a bit through the ranks in the Podmasters, Braddo.
We'll get there. But I've got to make
Corey's a good bloke. And no offence, Corey. No offence. It's just a little bit of cross-pod rivalry, mate.
Well, of course, I still have to get up to his lofty heights yet.
He's flying.
Look, Matthew Stafford is at 0.6%, and Herbert is around about the same. Justin Herbert, both of them, both 0.3%. So 0.3 and 0.6.
How many own Drake May in the top 1% and in the top 10%, Brad?
He's the sixth most owned in the top 1%. So 10% of the top 1% own Drake May.
Well, that's a pod then. That's a pod. That's a pod. What about in the top 10%? How many own him in the top 10%?
Oh, now you're making me work for me.
Oh, no, I'm demanding. I'm very demanding. We need a producer. So anyone else out there willing to work for a bowl of rice a day and have got computer skills of a fucking ninja, just flood the inbox, mate. We'd love to welcome you aboard for the voice of, so Brad doesn't have to put up with me all the time.
And he's exactly the same, still 10% in the top 10% of coaches.
10%. So. Well, they're your potties. They're your players. If you're just prepared to go, fuck it, I'm flying, but I have to make some, I have to make the move. Well, that's where you make it, because you're not going to be making it with a tight end because it's cookie cutter. And you've heard what the guy coming first wide receiver corps are. You're not going to pull players left field, which are going to bamboozle him, right? So you've got to do it with your QBs. Plenty of options there. And thank you, Supercoach, for having a flex, allowing us to play 2 QBs. That's great work.
All right. Thanks to the sponge for that one. Don't use the sponge in the shower, mate. It will stink. All right. We have a message here sent in from anonymous participant 738. Pissed off with you guys. We're not on yesterday. That's all he said.
Understandable, and mate, and hey, honestly, now look, we don't want to go into people's private lives, but yesterday there was a hospital trip required. So when someone needs to go into hospital. We hate to let you guys down because I know that your whole world revolves around us, and it's a pleasure to be in the center of it. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
I hope you weren't in the
it's
center
a pleasure to be here today.
It was a prostate exam. I hope you weren't in the center of it.
Well, you know what I mean. I enjoyed my time. It was really, really pleasant. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
All right. So moving on, Stephen Prout. He is one of the administrators over there at Supercoach NFL, Supercoach Fanatics. Good on you, Steve. Thank you very much for sending in the question. Who's the best replacement for London, assuming you have all the other top dogs? I suppose all the other top dogs. Who does he mean? Pika Nakura.
Okay, let's go back to the rankings, and I'm going to pull up, the Cups of the Rose, Lockie. He's got JSN, Chase, Nakua, Rice, Lamb, Jefferson. And on the bench, he's got the Sun God. So I would put the Sun God on for Jefferson. He's got Romy, and he's going to put Jamar Chase back to the Pine. So they're your best ones to have, right? JSN, Nakua, Rice, Lamb, and the Sun God. But I think there's a couple of real cheapy ones who I think if you've got some balls that you can get on this week, have a crack, and at worst, you just rotate them back to your bench as soon as the spitter comes back, right? But Brad,
so who are you looking at?
Okay, I'm just
Give
a
us your
little
one.
bit
Give us
slow.
just the one different one apart
One
from.
is I've just got to go to my watch list, and here we are. Sorry, it's taken me so long to get there. Michael Wilson, Arizona wide receiver, $8 million. He's the one to get onto this week as far as I'm concerned. At the start of this week, if we were live yesterday, I think we both would have face fucked ourselves by saying, get on Nico Collins. I feel he's going to have a really explosive game. So he was my other one at 14 million I was cheekily looking at. But now it all points to Michael Wilson because there's him and Trey McBride and no one else. And at 8 million, and he's owned by 122 people, make it 123.
Look, mine's a bit crazy as well. Mine's Troy Franklin. If you want a bit of depth cover for your bench and that, Denver is looking like they are definitely going to be playoff bound. So, but they're not assured. So they're really going to be fighting hard all the way. He's coming out more and more each week with more. Yeah, look at his possession each week. It just keeps increasing slowly every week. To nearly the point where he's the main man they're looking for downfield in the red zone. So, he looks like a really hot target for them, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely he does. Now, also just putting in a little bit more thought, this week, I think that because the spitter did what he did and he's out for the week, T. Higgins at 15.9 million, he is the one to get onto this week if you're not going to go to the Williams route. I think there's T. Higgins and there's Williams. I think Stefan Diggs is a nice little cheeky one, playing through the finger problem like we said. But we are getting really limited to like what our options are. Last week, Christian Watson from Green Bay scored himself a nice cheeky 37, making Golden look irrelevant. But we're really starting to run out of pod players, but probably...
and trades.
Yeah. Also, maybe Debo Samuels. He's due to have one of those games where he might score 3 tutties. But we're starting to run out of options. We're starting to run out of trades. So it's guys which are real pods, which you're looking for. So that'd be my two like real tweaky ones for the week, mate. But the one I like more is, mate, Michael Wilson or T. Higgins. That's it.
All right, so we do have one final question, one final one. And this one is from the Gatorade Gator.
The
Gatorade Gator. You must like putting into his Gatorade, that one. All right, with Allen looking like crap, should I captain Lamar or May?
May, and if you're old enough to be a Star Wars child, you will know all of the 4th of May jokes and everything like that. But may the 4th be with you. I think that it's all Drake May, because Lamar, got to remember that he's coming back from hammy issues, and he didn't look particularly fucking like the Lamar I remember from last year or even the start of the season. They just aren't giving him his like running roles. They are making him pass it, but they just don't want him to be mobile up until he's fully recovered. And Drake May's the one which is just like going, I'm the man, and Brady fucking who, mate? This is my team. It's my team. Tom fucking who, he's saying. That's what I reckon. Go with May there, Gator.
All right, well, Ted, that looks like that just about wraps our show up. I don't think we've got too much more to cover. We do apologise for not being here in all seriousness yesterday, like we usually are. But got to remember, we do this for fun. So sometimes things like family and things like that do get in the way, and they've got to come first. So.
Had to happen.
All right. Anything else, Ted? You want to leave us with any pearls of wisdom?
Oh, just be good to your mother if you've still got one. I don't know, but just use your trades wisely, guys, and just as we keep on saying, good luck, and we'll see you all next week. And thanks for being on board, and we'll try and be prompt and courteously on time next week. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Mate, you got an awful lot of TVs there behind you. Which one are you going to watch?
I'm going to go back to the big screen over there, and maybe put a few in the slots, and get myself a nice little cruiser, and just see how the afternoon unpeels, mate.
I'm going to go out the back and make myself a daiquiri and sit down and watch some of the Ashes, I think.
Oh, yeah, mate. This is the time, mate. And the Poms friends of the show, all of the British. We love the British friends of the show. Good luck with your cricket team.
Oh, look, good luck. I can tell you Joe Root got a duck.
Well, then, there's nothing. Well, he can get rooted.
He's rooted.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, on that, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for those who are watching. We did have a few watching here and there, so thank you, guys. And until next week, we will.